How's it going, guys? It is Ryan and welcome back to a brand new video. And today we're here at Sepang, Malaysia for the second round of our 2007 career mode, driving as Ralf Schumacher as always in the Toyota, and we are jumping straight into qualifying, where for this race and the remainder of the series I'm bringing in a one lap rule where I'm only allowed to do only one flying lap, just to add a bit more pressure on me in the race, So if I do a crappy lap, we've got to work our asses off to get up the field into the points paying positions, or we get a great qualifying and we have the expectations to win the race. So hopefully you guys like this idea, as it will make it a bit more challenging for me, and you guys will hopefully enjoy the races that I do. So in qualifying, Massa provisionally on pole with a 39.7, not the quickest, but may just be warming up. We have to wait and see on there, as I've slightly tweaked the AI a bit on performance in this mod, so hopefully they'll be a bit quicker, especially the likes of the Red Bulls and the Toro Rosso, Williams and Honda, because they were particularly off the pace. So hopefully hopefully it's gone a lot better than before. So we're in the middle sector, as I said, nearly 1.5 seconds quicker than Massa in the first sector. So Massa's probably had a poor lap there, so nothing really to focus on that time as of yet. We'll have to wait and see, as we're going to be going down towards the tricky hairpin corner to start the end of the last sector. As you can see there, traffic there playing a massive role on there, as we're going to be going through to the last sector. As you can see, we're already 2.5 seconds up on Massa. But as I said, Massa has got a slow time, and speaking of Massa, that's probably why he's going very slowly on his lap there. So he may just make some contact with Heidfeld. We'll have to wait and see as we go into this tricky double right-hander, which I absolutely hate with a passion. And as you can see there, Hamilton sticks in a 36.4, which is nearly 3 seconds quicker than Massa's time. And we're going to get lucky here with the draft from Nick Heidfeld in the Sauber down the back straight towards the final corner. We miss the apex completely there, so hopefully get some draft from Heidfeld's Sauber down the straight there and gain some time back. So the draft there has helped us and puts us provisionally P2 with a 36.7. So I was very happy with that, considering we did get a bit of draft, I'm going to be honest, down the back straights and the front straight there. And it's really stayed the same there, but the big surprise was Antonio Liuzzi in third with a 37.3. That's a shock, that is. And the current leader, Raikkonen, who won the last episode in Australia's P4, with Mark Webber 5th and Trudy, our teammate, in 6th place. So we're going to head now onto the grid for the second round of our career mode here in Malaysia, as we are anticipating it overcast weather as well. This will put a spanner in the works for if it's going to rain, is it going to stay dry? That is the question. We're going to find out in a second now. And it's 0% rain, so that's a good sign to start with. It's a one-stop strategy as always. We're going to go into aggressive fuel strategy to start us off, which means our car will be a lot lighter than some of the cars in front of us, as we're going to try and gain as much positions off the line and try and, well, not really, gain a position off the line with Hamilton ahead of us, as we've got a great chance of winning this race, but maybe the high downforce we ran in qualifying may hinder us. We have to wait and see as we get onto the grid now. There is Lewis on pole, but I'm still shocked at Antonio Liuzzi in third place on the grid. So we may see a shock in this race. We don't know yet what the pace of the Toro Rosso is in a straight line and what strategy he is on. But the revs are now building, the lights are on. The second episode of the 2007 career mode is away, and we get a great start off the line there. And Hamilton's had a poor start there, and we're going to do now a drag race down the front straight towards turns 1 and 2. We're going to try and hook it round the outside, but we back out of it and we break a bit early. Hamilton's gone wide, which hinders our line, and Liuzzi out of nowhere is going to try and go around the outside of Hamilton there. We're going to go down the inside of Hamilton as well, and it's a drag race, and Liuzzi takes the lead of the race with a brilliant move from third to first. It's ridiculous. And Raikkonen now down the inside of Hamilton, and Hamilton and us have had poor starts there. We've really lost the position there, but Hamilton, the big loser, dropping 3 spots as Raikkonen goes to the back of Liuzzi, and we're side by side with the Finnish driver, but he has got the line. We go very wide, but we have to settle for third place at the minute. But that is a mad start in this Malaysian Grand Prix, with Liuzzi, of all people you would never expect to lead a race, is leading the Malaysian Grand Prix. And could Toro Rosso put off a shock win here? I know it's only lap 1, but we'll have to wait and see what the pace is of that Toro Rosso, and if he's on the prime tyres. We do not know if he is on the primes or the options, because can't really tell what tyre compound is which. So We've got to wait and see, but he's actually pulling away from Raikkonen. This is a bit of a surprise from us there, as Hamilton's 2 tenths behind, and I don't know who's behind Hamilton on there, but our teammate Jarno Trulli is up to 6, so that's a great start from the Toyota boys, I've got to say. Both in the points, which is what we want, but we are falling behind Raikkonen, just showing the Ferrari's engine is a lot powerful than the Toyota's, so we've got a lot of work to do here. But Liuzzi will lead a lap from the Malaysian Grand Prix, but Raikkonen is all over the back of the Italian driver. And is it just a one-trick pony? One lap? We have to wait and see. As Hamilton now is going to go down the inside of us there. Looks like he's going to not... He hasn't got the speed down the straight, so he may be running a lot of downforce than expected. So, very surprised to see that, considering Hamilton did get pole there in qualifying. I was expecting him to run slightly lower wings, so very surprised, I've got to say, on there. But we're onto the second lap now. We're onto the slipstream of Raikkonen, where this game, I have to admit, there is a bit of an issue with the slipstream, where if you're so far back, you get a lot of slipstream, and you're on the back of the car ahead. So that was one downside to racing this mod, I've got to admit, there. But we're doing very well to stay up with Raikkonen and Liuzzi on there. So we're going to go on to the next lap. And you can see we just have a little lock-up on the front right there, but nothing too serious, as we're still in that draft territory of Raikkonen and Liuzzi, as we've got Hamilton behind still, who's got a beautiful run on us here. Down the back straight, we go towards the final corner. Liuzzi still leading the race after 3 laps, so maybe it could happen, guys. Maybe it could happen, but Raikkonen's got a brilliant exit out of the last corner. He is in that slipstream of the Toro Rosso, and he's going to look like he's going to pounce as Liuzzi goes to the inside to hold off Raikkonen going into turn 1. And Raikkonen there's a bit off there, as Liuzzi's braked really early for the corner. And we make contact with the Toro Rosso driver. I don't know what was going on with Liuzzi, but we've got to give Raikkonen the space. But we're going to hold it around the outside, and we're up to P2. So, a bit bizarre there from Liuzzi, I've got to say, from him, to make that. He was going very slowly round that corner. We've got a brilliant run on him, though, into turn 4, I think it is. But there's nowhere to go. We're going to go around the outside of him, actually. He's done the same mistake as he did at turn 1. And we're side by side with Liuzzi on there. But he's just got a brilliant line, and he takes us around the outside and regains the lead of this race. All kicking off in this race, and Trudy's catching up as well to the top 5, so we could maybe even get 2 Toyotas on the podium, which would be quite a shock, and in some perspective it's a good thing. On to lap 5 now, and we've started to pull away from Hamilton, who's starting to have some problems with his car, it looks like, and even Trudy's having issues as well. But we're going to get a nice run out of the last corner. Raikkonen's got an even better exit than us, as we're going to go down the straight to start lap 6 now. We are expected to pit this lap, but I don't think we will. We'll have to wait and see, as we get a beautiful run on Liuzzi, but just nowhere to go to try and go on the outside. It wouldn't really work at turn 1. It could work at turn 2 though, but we're just not close enough to the Liuzzi. But we get a beautiful exit out of 2, and we're going straight up to Rich. We're going to try and get past him as Coulthard sets a 38.7 on there, but we're going to go down the inside of Liuzzi into turn 4, and we do take the lead of the race, and we go purple in the first sector as well. So doing very well. I've got to say, I think Coulthard's in 5th as well, so he could maybe get a podium from Red Bull, which would be very good for them as well. But it's going to be very close action-packed racing, this is, as we take the lead of the race, as I've mentioned. And there's a back marker up ahead. I don't know who it is. I'm not too sure. But we're going to be going on to lap 6 now, at the end of this lap, actually. I do apologise. And it looks like it's a Super Aguri or a Spiker, but we're going to be pitting this time along with Liuzzi. So we're doing the undercut on Raikkonen. Obviously it doesn't make any odds because the Bridgestone tyres were very durable in the day, I've got to say. So it's a pit stop battle between us, the Toyota, versus the Toro Rosso guys. So this is going to be very close, this is. On there, one thing I love about this mod, as you can see, they emulate the real life timings of the pit stop. So I was very happy that this part of the mod was included. So it's a 8.1 second stop, so it's a pretty good stop from us there. As Liuzzi's coming out of his box, I believe. He's been held up, actually. So maybe he's picked up some damage, I wonder. So we have to take this opportunity, but that is a big shame for Liuzzi, who held the lead for 5 laps and then was second as well. So a bit disappointing from him, but I've got to give props to Liuzzi. He did a fantastic job at the start of the race there. We're in P7, coming out the pit stop phases, as we've got Christian Albers ahead in the Spiker, who's on the prime tyres, and Rubens Barrichello behind us in 8th, as we go very wide on cold tyres, as we've got a 5.3 second gap behind. So I don't think we're going to be worrying about Liuzzi or Barrichello or any of them at any stages here. My main focus now was Raikkonen, who is the only man realistically, apart from Hamilton, that could still win this race on strategy on there. As we go on to the end of the lap, we go very wide at the last corner as Albers will pit from 6th place, and the rest of the field pit, including our teammate. And there is Raikkonen there, the first dot coming out of the pit lane now. There he is. It's going to be very close going into turn 1, and we hold it around the outside, giving him plenty of room if he wants to make a pass on us on pit exit, but we will hold it and maintain the lead of the race with a retirement already as well that I've just spotted in the top left-hand corner of the screen. So we hold on to the lead then on lap 8 with only 7 laps to go of the Malaysian Grand Prix, and maybe, just maybe, it's a bit early to celebrate yet, but we could pull off Toyota's win here today. Or maybe Raikkonen is thinking of 2 for 2 from winning in the last episode in Australia. We've got to wait and see if that is the case here. But we have got the performance according to our engineer, so we're very happy with the pace we've got. This high downforce is working very nicely with the high fuel, obviously, because obviously there was refueling at the time of the 07 season. Obviously this game doesn't allow it, so obviously we've got to work on the high the high downforce setting, on there. But the gap to Raikkonen's 1.6 seconds, and Hamilton is a further 4.1 seconds back to Raikkonen. So 5.8 covers the top 3 at the minute, with a train of cars behind Hamilton as well. So we're not going to be worried about Hamilton at this stage, but we never know what can happen in the later stages of this race. Hamilton could start making a full-on assault on both myself and Raikkonen. But the gap behind, I wanted to try and maintain at 1.6 to 2 seconds is my goal in the remainder of this race here. As we come into the final corner to start lap 9 of this race, with only 6 laps remaining on there. And Raikkonen gets a very good exit out of the last corner. He's going to be a bit closer than we was on the last lap, as the gap is now 1.1 seconds. So he's getting half a second on us already in the last sector. So we've got to be very, very careful. Obviously the high downforce isn't going to work out for us in the last sector, with I think Raikkonen's running a bit less wing than us, as Hamilton's only, he's getting 4 tenths on us as well, so he's only 5.4 seconds behind as well. As we go on to lap 10 now, and as you see, Raikkonen is ever closer to us, and even Hamilton's crawling very slowly to the back of ourselves and Raikkonen, as it's only 8 tenths per second, but we've gone purple in the first sector, as Hamilton's now still 4.4 seconds behind from us and Raikkonen at this stage. It's going to be very close, this Malaysian Grand Prix, if the gaps continue to drop on there. And if Raikkonen gets close enough, the slipstream that I was mentioning earlier could play a factor in helping Raikkonen get 2 for 2 in this career mode. We've got to wait and see as we break into the hairpin. Then once again we get a beautiful line there, not hitting the curb, as you will lose the back end completely. We've gone purple once again in the middle sector, and we've gained about, I think it was about 5 to 6 tenths on Raikkonen in that sector, and we've only gained slightly a bit on Hamilton, but Hamilton's gaining on Raikkonen, it seems. So there could be a little spanner in the works really in these last few laps here in Malaysia. We've got to wait and see. Even Webber's up to 4th, I've got to mention that as well. He's done massively well. Massive props to him for doing a fantastic job for his team. As we're going to be braking now to start lap 11 now. This is where Raikkonen gains the time, this last sector. What will the gap be as we come across the line to start lap 11 of this race? As we come across the line, it's another 38.5. It's the fastest lap of the race from us, but the gap is now 9 tenths of a second, nearly a second exactly, as we break into turn 1. This is going to be extremely close here. We've got to wait and see as we do get a confirmation of us getting fastest lap of the race. But I don't really see that happening, as I think as we go on to further on to the lap actually, the gap is 9 tenths of a second, and Hamilton's now 4.3 seconds, so they seem to be quicker in the first sector now. So we are starting to struggle a bit on these tyres, maybe. That could be the question. The Toyota maybe using a lot more of its tyres than the Ferraris and the McLarens, maybe. We've got to wait and see how this pans out as we go very wide out of the hairpin there as we start the middle sector on lap 11. The gap's 1.3 seconds to Raikkonen. The gap behind is 3.4 to Raikkonen and Hamilton. 4.7 is the gap between us and 3rd place. So it's maintaining position there, which is what we want to see, being very cautiously into this double right-hander onto the back straight, as I lock up quite a bit in there while I was practicing for this race. So I've got to see how we go. Down the straight we go once again. This is where we're going to lose a bit of time to the Ferraris down the straights. We've got to wait and see. We break into the last corner. We go once again. A bit of a tighter line there, which means a poor exit there from us once again, and Raikkonen is over the back of us again. Would he get the slipstream again? The gap's under 9/10 of a second now, almost exactly 9/10. But the sun is coming out, so track temperature could play a factor here once again with the tyre wear. Obviously it was overcast, which would help our tyres a lot during the opening stage. We could have continued, as Massa now sets the fastest lap of 38.5, just pipping us by 7/100ths of a second there. So we could see maybe Massa getting up there. He is in, I think he's in 5th place at the minute. But we're going to be going on now to the final lap of the race as someone is in the pits. I don't know what's going on there with that guy. I believe it's a spiker going in again. I'm not too sure who it is on there, as it doesn't come up with the name there. But we're going to be starting the last lap, and we set a new fastest lap of 37.3 just to prove that the Toyota has got the pace. But the gap is still 1.3 seconds and 4.5 to Hamilton behind. As just confirmation, we do get the fastest lap of 37.3 on that lap. So Webber's doing pretty well for 4th, I've got to say. So props to him as well. As we're going to be starting the final sector now of this race. We've got purple once again. The gap's 1.6 seconds now. As there's a lap marker who's going to hold up Hamilton slightly there. So we can rule out Hamilton definitely out of the running now of this race. And we've not got any issues with fuel as well. So we can burn as much fuel as possible in this race. This last few corners remaining of the Malaysian Grand Prix. And maybe we've only got, can we win our first race of the season after 2 rounds in the Toyota? It would be amazing if we can pull off this accomplishment for the team, as I believe they've not won a race actually, so this will be a quite historic moment for the team. The gap's 1.9, we've gained 3/10 on Raikkonen. All we've got to do now is not crash. If we crash, I will not probably do another career mode episode ever again in this car on there. But we're going to be braking now. We're going to be very cautiously out of this last corner. We've got the time. We go very wide, getting a bit of grass on our front left tyre. Down the back straight we go then for the final time. There's Trudy going around the hairpin, so I don't know what's happened to him. We'll have to wait until the end of the race as we come into the final corner now. Are we going to pull off a win? We've got no issues with fuel. We've worked out a perfect strategy from there. And how we've done this, I do not know. But we will win the Malaysian Grand Prix for Toyota. And it's a fantastic win there from us. Raikkonen comes home in 2nd place. And Lewis Hamilton will pip Mark Webber to 3rd place. So a fantastic drive there from us. And our first win of the season. And a first win for Schumacher in a long time. So there's confirmation of the race results there, guys. Schumacher wins by only 2.4 seconds from Raikkonen, with Lewis Hamilton in 3rd, with Mark Webber in 4th. Heikki Kovalainen in the Renault is in 5th, with Massa in 6th, with Liuzzi having a fantastic start there, but drops to 7th, with Heidfeld 8th, getting the last points paying position, as obviously we are doing the current 2007 point scoring system, I will say. And confirmation of the 2 retirements, Christian Albers and Sebastian Vettel, which I wouldn't really say in the current stages of 2015, I will say. But it's rare for Vettel to retire, so a bit disappointing for him. And Albers there, both not finishing. And Alex van der Weert's coming in last place, 20th, with Takuma Sato in 19th and Barrichello 18th. But right now, guys, we're going to be going now looking at the Drivers' Championship one more time before we head to the next episode of the career mode, and we'll be going now to a very excitable Ralf Schumacher as he gets out of his car there. Very happy with his performance, a great drive from him as he is very happy there. Look at him, look how excited he is to win his first race of the season and a first win for Toyota as well. He puts it on there and Raikkonen comes over to congratulate him as well. What a race that was. Now let's look at the championship standings after 2 rounds. And here they are, guys. After 2 rounds of the championship, Kimi Raikkonen still leads the way with 18 points, with us now, Ralf Schumacher, in 2nd place now with 15 points, a point ahead of Lewis Hamilton, who drops to 3rd. Nick Heidfeld lines up in 4th, tied on points with Heikki Kovalainen, both on 7 points. Mark Webber is in 6th with 5 points. David Coulthard lies in 7th with 4, with Felipe Massa in 8th with 3 points, and Vittorio Liuzzi's great performance gives him 2 points, and Robert Kubica gets the final 10th place with 2 points as well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of the 2007 career mode. It's been a blast to do this one, and if we get 100 likes, guys, I will immediately upload round 3 of the championship. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already for more F1 content featuring this series, the 1997 career mode, and our My Player 2015 career mode, guys. But until next time, guys, have a fantastic day wherever you're doing, and I shall see you guys very soon for another video. Until then, guys, take care and see you later.